What if I told you that the Gosselin kids you once saw holding juice boxes and squabbling on TLC are now 21, 24, and stepping boldly into adulthood with stories you won't believe? From Kate's surprising TikTok comeback and Jon's engagement to Hannah and Leah reconnecting, Colin launching a business, and the twins carving out lives in New York City, every single member of Jon and Kate Plus 8 has a brand new chapter to share, and tonight we're breaking it all down. Get ready for milestones, reunions, quiet triumphs, and even a few jaw-dropping twists. This is the kind of family update that feels both nostalgic and brand new all at once. So before we dive in, make sure to hit like, subscribe, and ring that bell so you never miss the latest scoop on reality TV's most unforgettable families. Now, let's catch up with the Gosselins. Jon Gosselin is in a surprisingly steady season, and he's letting us see it. He's engaged, he's busy behind the DJ booth, and he keeps repeating one hopeful line about his kids: the door is open. It starts last November inside a cozy corner of Willoughby's on Park in Wyandotte. Jon pulls out a ring for longtime girlfriend Stephanie LeBeau. Families nearby, nerves buzzing like the stemware on the table. She says yes. In the glow after, Jon talks about what comes next, a wedding where, as he puts it, I would definitely send an invite to all of them. They're my kids. It's simple, and it lands like a promise. We also hear him laugh off baby speculation. We're both fixed, he says with a grin. This chapter isn't about starting over. It's about building on what's finally working. Day to day, Jon looks like a man who's found his rhythm. On Instagram, he posts monthly lineups and quick snapshots from club nights, the camera catching that neon haze and the shoulder-to-shoulder crowd right as the drop hits. In January, he brings the turntables to Sundance 2025, sliding between interviews and late sets, talking openly about family and the odd gravity of fame that never quite lets go. By July 5th, he's on a ball field in Williamsport, tossing a ceremonial first pitch for the Crosscutters, then greeting fans with that you-know-me-from-TV smile that's mellowed into something more approachable. He looks comfortable. He looks present. There's a quieter transformation, too. Over the past year, Jon shares that he's dropped weight with a medical-guided plan and a simple routine: lift, sweat, repeat. The numbers matter less than the vibe. Clearer skin, lighter step, a guy who seems more at ease in his own frame. He talks about therapy and self-work without flinching. It reads like the unglamorous part of healing, and maybe the most important. Meanwhile, the Gosselin universe keeps spinning. In May, the sextuplets hit 21, a milestone that sounds impossible if you can still picture them holding juice boxes and matching polos. In a few photos, Hannah pops up beside Jon and Stephanie, grown, glowing, an unspoken link between past and present. The moment feels like a deep breath. Birthdays, cake, a reminder that some bridges didn't burn all the way through. But this family story has never stayed quiet for long. In August, Jon's son Colin shares an emotional message about siblings being pulled apart and pitted against each other. The internet lights up, headlines multiply, and Kate responds on social, reigniting old arguments that never really died. Jon doesn't add fuel. He sticks to that same steady line about invites and staying open, about letting adulthood be the meeting place where time and patience can do their work. And then we're back in the present. A calendar dotted with gigs, a fiancé who shows up in photos with an easy, unforced joy, a home where a teen daughter of Stephanie's anchors the daily rhythm, and a wedding board slowly filling with dates and vendors. Jon is not making grand speeches. He's making playlists. He's signing contracts. He's practicing the slow art of showing up. So here's the snapshot right now. Jon Gosselin is engaged and planning a wedding that, if he gets his wish, includes every child at the table. He's working steadily as DJ Jon Gosselin, from festival towns to baseball parks. He's prioritizing health and doing the unflashy maintenance of a life that doesn't run on chaos anymore. And even when the old storm clouds roll in online, he keeps the porch light on, just in case someone he loves decides to come home.
Tonight, Kate Gosselin steps back into the spotlight, not on TLC, but on your For You page. She's in North Carolina, the kitchen light is soft, and you can hear the zip of a lunch bag as she films, "Time for work, pack lunch with me for my 12-hour shift." It's the most everyday sound in the world, and that's exactly the point. Kate is back in real time, sharing pieces of a life that's different from the one we watched years ago. Pediatric home health shifts, dog mom updates, and the quiet rhythm of an empty nest. Her TikTok comeback feels intentional. She hosts lives, promises another, and answers fans in the comments with a mix of candor and grace. When someone admits they misjudged her based on the show, she replies, "Forgiven." When others ask the question that always hovers, "What happened to the reality TV millions?" she says the money went where life demanded: legal fees, college funds. The message lands like a deep breath. Whatever you think you know about Kate Gosselin, she's here to tell you how it really is today. Family remains the current that pulls every conversation. In May, the sextuplets turn 21, and she celebrates the milestone with a proud mom post. It's both surreal and simple. The babies we met are adults now, with their own lives, their own circles, their own stories still unfolding. When viewers wonder about old wounds and invisible lines, Kate drops a small but striking detail. Hannah recently called to help her set up an Amazon list. Yep, always has. Don't believe what you hear. It's the kind of everyday interaction you can't script, a daughter troubleshooting for her mom, and it lands as a quiet counterpoint to years of rumors. Of course, the internet isn't the internet without a flare-up. In August, Colin's viral post, "Forced Apart," reignites debate, and the spotlight rushes back to Kate. She doesn't mount a press tour. She doesn't spin. Instead, in a single comment, she writes, "He knows why." It's raw, restrained, and instantly dissected. Then in the very same tidal wave of attention, she leans into kindness towards strangers, telling new followers they're welcome here and reminding longtime watchers that the kids, now grown, even rewatch the old episodes with friends and partners. There's a sense that she's walking a narrow bridge, protecting her children's privacy while still showing up, and every post is a balancing act between what fans want to know and what a mother is willing to share. If you're listening closely, you can hear the theme of this new chapter: steadiness. The camera angles aren't glamorous. The news isn't a dramatic move or a surprise engagement. It's a work bag packed at dawn, a dog's paws clicking on the kitchen tile, a mom choosing to answer a tough comment with "forgiven," and a not-so-subtle correction that, yes, she and Hannah do talk. It's the everyday reality after reality TV. Mundane on the surface, meaningful underneath. So where is Kate Gosselin now? She's present. She's clocking long nursing shifts, narrating the small scenes that build a length, celebrating 21st birthdays, and opening a door that's been shut for years. Just enough for fans to peek in without lingering too long. The headlines will keep chasing bigger fireworks, but the real story this past year is smaller and more human. A woman recalibrating, reconnecting where she can, and choosing to tell her own story in the present tense. And for a family that grew up on camera, that choice, deliberate, measured, a little vulnerable, might be the most dramatic plot twist of all. She's 21 now, and you can feel it in every frame she shares. Hannah Gosselin steps into her 20s with that quiet, self-possessed glow, an Instagram square that simply reads "me, myself, and I," a sunlit beach snap where the wind lifts her hair like a promise. It's not loud, not performative, just a young woman signaling that this next chapter belongs to her. And then, a twist no one sees coming.
In mid-August, Kate pops up on TikTok and casually mentions that Hannah called to help her build an Amazon list. When a viewer presses, Kate replies, "Always has, don't believe what you hear." The comment lands like a pebble in a still lake, small, but the ripples are huge. For years, fans have narrated the family's fractures like they were etched in stone. This moment doesn't rewrite history, but it does suggest something softer is possible. A phone call here, a practical favor there, a mother and daughter finding small ways to be useful to each other. If you want to know where Hannah's head and heart are, rewind to May and that sharp, clear Teen Vogue profile. In it, she talks about growing up on camera with a frankness that's both gentle and unflinching. She remembers the crew living above the garage, the kid logic hacks for privacy, like dropping brand names mid-moment so a scene might never make air. You can almost picture her dorm room while she speaks, a coffee mug going cold on a desk, light pooling on a textbook, that mix of independence and nostalgia that defines early adulthood. And there's a practical note in her voice when she shares that newer protections and careful planning have covered about half of her college costs. It isn't triumphalist, it's honest, and it sounds like relief. Spring brings the milestone everyone had circled. The sextuplets turn 21. The family marks it in different places in different ways. Kate posts celebratory photos with 4 of the 6, while Hannah celebrates separately with her dad, Jon, alongside Stephanie Lebo. It's a modern family portrait drawn in multiple rooms, multiple timelines, and it still fits together. Separate gatherings, same birthday, shared history. The images don't shout, they hum. Clinking glasses, hugs that linger a beat longer than the camera needs. Scroll back a little further, and there's another quiet shift that matters. Last November, Hannah and her sister Leah are spotted again. Smiles, arms looped, a simple girls' night that feels bigger than it looks. After years of different households and internet narratives, the sight of the two of them shoulder to shoulder answers a question fans have been asking with 1,000 comments. Are the siblings still close? The moment isn't a press release, it's a feeling you can screenshot. Across her feed, Hannah keeps it minimal, real and rare, an autumn caption that reads like a promise to herself. A summer beach photo where the sky is so blue it looks edited even when it isn't. She's not hawking a brand launch or broadcasting every hour. Instead, her posts arrive like postcards. Here's where I am. Here's what it feels like. See you when I see you. In a media universe that once told her story for her, the choice to share less and mean it more lands as its own kind of power. So what's the latest with Hannah? She's building a grown-up life in real time, staying present on Instagram without oversharing, turning 21 with her family split across a few tables but still toasting the same milestone, reconnecting with a sister, and, if Kate's TikTok is any indication, keeping a line open that many thought had gone silent. It's measured, it's hopeful, and it's hers. And as she writes this chapter, one carefully curated post at a time, the message is clear. Hannah Gosselin isn't just a name from a headline. She's a young woman defining what comes next on her terms. There's a quiet but powerful shift happening in the life of Colin Gosselin, and fans of Jon and Kate Plus 8 have been watching closely. Over the past year, his journey has unfolded in deeply personal, emotional, and surprising ways, reminding us that even when the cameras fade, the story doesn't end. Let's start with the moment that stopped fans in their tracks this August. Colin, now 21, took to TikTok with a simple but heartbreaking montage of childhood photos. Images of him and his siblings smiling in happier times flashed across the screen with words that cut straight to the heart. Forced apart, pitted against each other, I will always love them more than anything. In just seconds, he captured years of pain, longing, and complicated family history. It was the kind of raw vulnerability that made fans pause, replay, and flood the comments with support. But the ripple effect didn't stop there. Just days later, Kate Gosselin herself stepped into the conversation, something she rarely does these days. On TikTok, during one of her Kitchen Talk live streams, a fan asked about Colin's emotional post. Kate responded with just 4 words. He knows why. That single comment sent shockwaves through the fan base. Was it deflection? Was it grief? Or was it an attempt at closure from a mother who has carried her own version of the story for years? Whatever the meaning, it reignited the ongoing conversation about the fractured ties between Colin and the rest of the Gosselin family. Yet, alongside the emotional tension, there have also been new beginnings. Back in March, Colin proudly announced the launch of his own small business, Gosselin Pressure Washing LLC. On Instagram, he shared the milestone with excitement. Today, we officially filed as an LLC. Gosselin Pressure Washing is ready to tackle that job you've been needing to get done. Let us take the pressure off your shoulders. It wasn't just a business plug. It was a declaration of independence. For a young man who has navigated so many challenges, starting the company felt like a grounding step towards stability, responsibility, and creating a life on his own terms. Fans couldn't help but notice the contrast. On one hand, he was putting down roots in adulthood, carving out his career path with determination. On the other, he was still reaching out across the silence, reminding his brothers and sisters that, despite everything, his love hasn't faded. The juxtaposition of those two moments, an LLC launch and a heartfelt TikTok, paint a portrait of a young man determined to move forward while still wrestling with the echoes of the past. And woven through it all is the larger milestone that the Gosselin sextuplets just reached this year, their 21st birthday. The once tiny toddlers that America watched grow up are officially stepping into adulthood. For Colin, that birthday carried extra weight. At 21, you're supposed to feel free, but his life has been anything but simple. His military plans shifted after a discharge from the Marines, his college journey at Penn State remains a quieter chapter, and his family relationships are still marked by distance. Yet, with each update, each business move, each social post, Colin is showing the world that he's choosing to write his own story. It's a story of resilience, of independence, and most of all, of hope. That someday the family ties that feel so frayed might find a way to mend. Until then, Colin Gosselin continues to step into the world as a young man with his past behind him, his future unfolding, and millions of fans watching with both heartbreak and admiration. City light spills across a tiny New York apartment, and Maddie Gosselin is exactly where she wants to be, off the reality TV carousel, on her own timeline, and quietly building a life that feels like hers. At 24, the famously private twin from Jon and Kate +8 is leaning into that privacy with purpose. She keeps Instagram wiped clean, a blank canvas that says, "I'll share when I'm ready." The real breadcrumbs live on TikTok, where her bio, 24-year-old Libra in NYC, does most of the talking, and the videos do the rest. Small, intimate glimpses of city rhythm, creator energy, and a young woman who's learned how to draw a boundary and stick to it. There's no splashy engagement reveal, no pregnancy montage, no sudden rebrand to chase clicks. Instead, the update is steadiness. Maddie is still New York-based, still crafting short, wry slices of life, still filtering what the public gets to see. You'll catch fleeting moments, the swell of subway breaks, a kitchen counter espresso, the way late summer light makes every brick glow, but nothing that gives away too much. She's present without being exposed, and for a kid who grew up with cameras, that's a milestone all its own. The only major family soundbite arriving this year doesn't come from Maddie. It comes from Kate. In a reflective TikTok, Kate remembers the ache of the day the twins left for college, how she coped by pretending they were just upstairs sleeping. It's a rare, vulnerable window into that transition, and even though the story is about the past, it lands now like a fresh echo. You can almost feel the two timelines overlapping. The mom who once counted 8 lunch boxes at the door, the daughter who now counts her steps up a walk-up, earbuds in, groceries balanced on a hip, no camera crew in sight. Career-wise, Maddie keeps it lean and unannounced. No big launch pressers, no coming soon countdowns, just the ongoing rhythm of a creator who posts when it feels right. That restraint reads like confidence. After years of being a storyline, she's turned herself into an editor, choosing what makes the cut and what stays in the private reel. It's a different kind of headline, but in 2025, that's a power move. And for fans who've watched the Gosselin orbit for years, this season of Quiet speaks volumes. It says the twins are still the twins, Mady and Cara, now fully in their mid-20s, charting adult life without play-by-play commentary. It says not every update needs fireworks to matter. Sometimes the most important development is simply the absence of chaos, an apartment that feels like home, a routine that settles in your body, a digital footprint that fits like a shoe you actually chose. So, what's new with Maddie? New looks like boundaries that hold. New looks like city cadence and low-key creativity. New looks like a life that moves forward without asking the internet for permission. If you're waiting for a cliffhanger, that's the twist. There isn't one. Maddie's update is that she's okay, and she's choosing to stay that way. As the sun drops behind the skyline and a window glass turns to gold, you can imagine her closing a laptop, dimming a lamp, and letting the city hum carry her into tomorrow. No press release, no episode teaser, just a young woman who has learned how to be the author, not the arc. For now, that's the scoop, and honestly, it might be the most grown-up one yet.
The quiet twin from Jon and Kate +8 has always kept her life carefully guarded. But in the last year, little windows into Cara Gosselin's world have opened, and they paint the picture of a young woman forging her own path, even as her famous family continues to swirl in drama around her. Today, Cara is no longer the shy teenager fans once watched on TLC. At 24, she's living and working in New York City, having carved out a career in the competitive world of finance. Her LinkedIn profile and later a May 2025 People update confirm she's a leasing credit officer at Bank of America. It's a serious, high-pressure role that shows she's chosen stability and professionalism, steering far from the spotlight that once defined her childhood. In the bustling rhythm of Manhattan, she has built a life that is distinctly her own. Yet, even in her silence, Cara's name continues to surface through the voices of her parents and siblings. Just this August, Kate Gosselin took to TikTok for the first time, sharing personal reflections about motherhood. She admitted that when Cara and her twin sister Maddie first left for college, she unhealthily pretended they were just upstairs sleeping rather than gone. It was a rare moment of raw vulnerability from Kate, one that underscored just how deeply she felt the transition of her oldest daughters stepping into adulthood. Around the same time, Kate revealed another surprising detail. Her adult kids, including Cara, have started watching old episodes of Jon and Kate +8 with friends and partners. Imagine Cara, once the quiet teenager on camera, now rewatching those scenes years later, laughing or maybe cringing as new people in her life witness the unfiltered chaos of her childhood. It's a poignant reminder of how growing up on reality TV leaves echoes long after the camera stopped rolling. But while Kate was speaking, Cara herself stayed silent. Her Instagram remains public but completely empty. 43,000 followers and not a single post. In the era where almost every 20-something curates their story online, Cara has chosen absence. No selfies, no snapshots of New York nightlife, no glimpses into her career. That blank feed speaks louder than words. She's guarding her privacy fiercely. Her name, though, did surface in December 2024 when her father, Jon Gosselin, made headlines about his wedding plans. In an interview, Jon said he hoped to invite all his children, including Cara and her siblings, with whom he's been estranged. It was a simple statement, but it stirred speculation. Would Cara attend? Would there finally be a bridge built across years of fractured family ties? So far, there's been no public confirmation, and Cara has remained completely off the record.
Family conflict has also spilled into the public in other ways. Just weeks ago, Cara's brother Colin claimed on TikTok that the siblings were forced apart. Kate pushed back strongly in the comments, but again, Cara did not weigh in. Her silence has become a signature, perhaps a form of quiet strength, perhaps a shield against the chaos that has followed the Gosselin name for nearly 2 decades. So, where does that leave Cara Gosselin today? She's a young professional in one of the world's busiest cities, succeeding in a demanding field, staying intentionally private, yet still woven into her family's public story by the words of others. In a family where nearly everyone's life has been dissected, posted, or debated, Cara has chosen the opposite path. She's living her 20s on her terms, quietly, determinedly, and without fanfare. And maybe that in itself is the most powerful update of all. Today, Alexis Gosselin steps back into the frame, not with a headline-grabbing confession, but with something smaller and more telling, an ordinary moment that feels like home. It's early August, and Kate Gosselin's TikTok has quietly become a window into the rhythms of her life, packing lunches for a 12-hour nursing shift, chatting with the dogs, moving through a kitchen that fans recognize in an instant. Then, as the camera rolls, Alexis glides past with a casual confidence, keys in hand. Kate calls, warm but mom firm, "Ride carefully and text me when you get there, please." Without breaking stride, Alexis fires back, "Love you." It's over in seconds, but it lands like a deep breath. No staged reveal, no drama, just the cadence of a grown daughter moving through the family orbit and a mother who still wants the text that says, "Made it." That tiny exchange is the heartbeat of Alexis's past year. More presence than performance, more life than storyline. Look back to May when the sextuplets hit the big milestone, 21. At her birthday dinner, the clink of glasses cuts through restaurant chatter as Alexis smiles with siblings Aiden, Leah, and Joel. The lighting is warm, the faces familiar, and for longtime viewers, it's a bit like opening a time capsule and finding everyone taller, quieter, more themselves. The photos don't shout, they exhale. They say, the kids you watched grow up are adults now, choosing when and how to be seen. Because that's the thing about Alexis right now. She's present, but on her own terms. She isn't dropping daily updates or teasing a new brand. There's no splashy launch, no breathless Q&A. Instead, we get snapshots filtered through the family's most official lens, Kate's posts. And in those frames, Alexis reads as grounded and private, content to let the big noise live elsewhere while she keeps her life at a humane volume. It feels intentional. It looks peaceful. The backdrop to all this is Kate's summer surge on social media, where home and work vignettes set the scene. Lunch packed, scrubs on, dogs padded across the floor. When Alexis crosses the screen in that August clip, it ties threads together. The grown daughter who still comes and goes, the mother who still asks for a check-in, the house that still holds both. Fans pause and replay, not because Alexis makes a splash, but because she doesn't. The subtlety is the story. It says, "I'm okay, we're okay." And after years of headlines about the Gosselin family, okay is powerful. There's also what we don't see, and that absence speaks plainly. No wedding bells, no baby news, no big career announcement with a glossy logo, no sit-down interviews unpacking old drama. Just that soft, steady beat of adulthood. Birthdays marked, dinners shared, a quick "love you" tossed over the shoulder. It's the kind of update that resists virality and rewards attention. If you've been watching since the beginning, you recognize the growth in the quiet, how Alexis carries herself, how the smile lines have settled into something serene. For fans who crave the latest scoop, this year's answer is refreshingly simple. Alexis is living, fully, privately, and with the same easy warmth that flashes in a 2-second TikTok cameo. She's not performing a chapter, she's turning a page. And somehow that feels like the most grown-up update of all. The milestone number 21 lands with its promise of independence, but the family rituals linger. A table shared with siblings, a mom's reminder, a door closing behind you as you head out into the night. So where is Alexis now? Right here, in the everyday, in the quiet confidence of a young woman who doesn't need a rollout to be real, in the affectionate shorthand of a family that's still a family, on and off camera, in the clink of a birthday glass and the soft thud of a front door. It's not a plot twist, it's a life, steady, present, and for once, delightfully ordinary. You know those moments when a single photo can open up an entire story? That's exactly what happens when we catch a glimpse of Aiden Gosselin, one of the sextuplets from Jon and Kate plus 8, as he quietly steps into a milestone year. Over the past 12 months, Aiden remains wonderfully private, but he did make a heartfelt public appearance that speaks volumes about where he is right now. It's May 10th, 2025, and his mother, Kate Gosselin, shares a rare and tender snapshot on Instagram. The picture glows with the soft warmth of a restaurant's overhead lighting, a round dining table at long last filled with laughter and connection. Here, slowly sipping a toast, are Aiden, along with his siblings Alexis, Leah, and Joel, all gathered in celebration of their 21st birthday. The flicker of candlelight dances across their glasses, the cake reading 21st birthday in delicate frosting, capturing a moment of grown-up joy and sibling closeness. It's the only time in the past year that Aiden steps into our view. The next day, media outlets like People, E! News, Page 6, and even the New York Post pick up the story. They gently echo the same details: how Aiden and 3 of his siblings are pictured raising a glass, how 2 others weren't present in the frame, and how it's rare to see them all together. And yet, the essence remains. This is Aiden, quietly present, choosing to be seen in a deeply meaningful moment. Beyond that evening, Aiden steps back into silence. He doesn't have his own social profile. There are no podcasts, no interviews, no career announcements from him in the past year. People confirms this. He lives a private life off social media, choosing to remain out of the spotlight even as his siblings occasionally pop into view. Meanwhile, his mother, Kate, becomes more digitally present. Launching a TikTok account by mid-2025, she shares snippets of home life, glimpses of all 8 children, but again, Aiden remains behind the camera, part of the family's heartbeat, but not the public face. Fans' questions float in the comments, and Kate occasionally responds, alluding to her children collectively rather than individually. Her digital debut feels warm, playful, welcoming us into just enough of their everyday magic without exposing Aiden's chosen privacy. So here we are today, reflecting on the gentle image of Aiden, tall, reserved, surrounded by his siblings in that candlelit frame. He's not making headlines, he's not chasing attention, but that one evening says so much. It speaks of love, quiet growth, a step into adulthood marked by family, not fanfare. And isn't that compelling for fans of reality TV families? We don't always need drama. Sometimes what matters most is simply seeing a child grow up with grace and a sense of belonging. Aiden reminds us that becoming an adult doesn't always require the spotlight. It can just be a heartfelt toast, a shared cake, and the soft glow of connection. You know, it's moments like these, small, graceful glimmers of sisterhood, that bring us just a little closer to those we grew up watching on screen. In late 2024, Leah Gosselin quietly steps into the public eye in a way that feels deeply familiar, yet newly refreshing. Her older sister, Hannah, pops into her Snapchat stories, and suddenly we're right there beside them, day tripping through casual lunchtime laughter and shared ice cream drips. They're strolling into Kava. Leah beams, Kava! And after they devour their bowls, she laughs. We destroyed those bowls. It's a simple line, but it lands like a heartwarming echo, reminding us how bond-deep sisterhood can get, even behind the scenes of a reality TV childhood. Now, fast forward into spring of 2025. Kate Gosselin, ever the proud mother, quietly posts snapshots from an intimate birthday dinner. We see Leah again, this time seated among her sextuplet siblings, Alexis, Joelle, Aiden, all gathered around soft candlelight and a birthday cake that practically glows. Kate's caption reads, "And just like that, they turned 21. Happy birthday to my 6." And time almost stops. There's something quietly powerful in that phrase, turned 21. It's a whisper of growing up, of late-night studio lights replaced by college lecture halls, of youthful giggles evolving into thoughtful smiles. Leah's there, part of that moment, no filters, no spotlights, just the warm glow of family, of birthdays passing through your fingertips like confetti in slow motion. Beyond those brief windows, throughout spring and summer 2025, Leah crafts a life that feels both grounded and quietly unfolding. She's on TikTok, sharing snippets of her college days, maybe a late-night study snack, maybe walking through leafy campus courtyards, maybe whispering jokes into the camera about roommates or coffee runs. Her handle, @LeahGosselin, feels like a soft invitation. Come see the everyday, unfiltered tenderness of a young woman carving her own path. As of August, she's gathered around 42,000 followers, proof perhaps that fans are still eager to glide along her journey wherever it may lead. What's striking here is what's not happening. No major milestones are splashed across headlines, no engagements, no baby announcements, no public career pivots. Instead, Leah's story has quietly blossomed in the familiar spaces of family dinners, TikTok clips, and shared laughter with her sister. It's the gentle reassurance that moments don't need fanfare to mean everything. Imagine leaning in as I speak, a soft piano note underneath, maybe the echo of a birthday candle's flicker. There's Leah, you hear me say, not making headlines, but present in the sweet, unassuming rhythms of her 21st year. The camera lingers on that simple birthday photo, the warm glow, the sibling smiles, and the promise of more still to come. So, what's the scoop? It's Leah, quietly growing, discovering herself in ordinary marvels. A Snapchat stroll, a birthday cake shared with siblings, the ease of TikTok moments from college dorm halls. These are the threads of her story. For now, they're the ones we're lucky to glimpse. And if you're waiting for that next leap, maybe a graduation, a new venture, that long-teased creative project, chances are, when it arrives, Leah will let us see it on her own terms. Until then, we hold these moments, these gentle echoes of family and youth, and we watch, curious and warmly hopeful for what comes next. 21 years ago, a lively little boy named Jon Gosselin arrived into the world, one of the famed Gosselin sextuplets from Jon and Kate plus 8. Today, that boy is a young man on the brink of adulthood, and you can practically feel the pride radiating from his mother's voice. Just this past May, a swirl of warm light flickers across our screens. Kate Gosselin shares a candid photo carousel from a cozy, softly lit restaurant. There's Joe, greenery twinkling beyond the window, raising a glass of sparkling cider. Beside him sit Alexis, Leah, and Aiden, all huddled around a candy-crowned cake. Her caption simply beams, And just like that, they turned 21. Happy birthday to my 6. You can almost taste the sweetness of that cake and feel the gentle hum of family laughter in the air. It's a quiet, beautiful moment that marks a huge milestone. And Joel's there, smiling and present, even as his siblings Hannah and Colin celebrate separately. It's intimate, joyous, and achingly real. Just a few days later, People magazine offers a heartwarming snapshot of where life is taking these young adults now. They confirm, drawing from Joel's own professional profile, that he's currently studying at the University of North Carolina at Charlotte, dialing into accounting and business management with an eye toward the class of 2027. It's one of those quiet turns in a reality TV childhood becoming something more grounded, more grown up. And interestingly, the article notes that Joel keeps a very low profile on social media, making this birthday glimpse feel all the more precious. We're not just watching a reality star, we're witnessing a young man choosing his own path, off the grid, focused and private. So here's what we know, and here's what makes it matter. There's no baby, no new business venture, not even a public declaration or controversy. Instead, there's the quiet passage of time, a young man entering adulthood, skipping the spotlight, heading into college with purpose. For fans, it's as if we're peeking into a gentle turning of the page, not a flash or headline, but a subtle, touching moment of growth. Picture it. A softly lit restaurant, the clink of glasses and a loving toast, the glow of candlelight, the sweetness of cake, the warmth of family, all converging around Joel's 21st. And then, the steady page in his story showing him studying, learning, building something. Accounting ledgers, business concepts, pencils tapping in college classrooms, dreams quietly forming. And that's exactly why this update matters. It's not about drama or spectacle. It's about transition. Joel, once the tiny, energetic face on TV screens, now choosing a quieter route. College student, focused on his future, stepping into adulthood with intention. So to all the reality TV family fans out there, hungry for what's next, here it is. A real, gentle update wrapped in celebration and ambition. A moment to pause, smile, and root for Joel as he forges ahead, on his own terms, in his own quiet, unfolding story. And there you have it, Kate showing us everyday life on TikTok, Jon planning a wedding with the door wide open for his kids, the twins thriving in New York, Hannah and Leah reconnecting, Colin starting fresh, Alexis and Aiden keeping it grounded, and Joel quietly building his future. Every Gosselin is writing their own story now, and somehow it still feels like we're all watching together. If you loved this deep dive, go ahead and tap that like button, hit subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss the latest family updates. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Whose story surprised you most? And what do you think comes next for this famous 8? And don't go far. Our next upload is packed with even more reality TV family drama you won't want to miss. Until then, this is The Fame, where the story never ends. Stay fabulous, Fame Fam!